Eagles lose 30-28 to the Baltimore Ravens. They are now 1-4-1 on the season. Wow. You know, I think everyone expected a loss. I think everyone expected the Ravens to come out and look far better than the Eagles, and pretty much throughout the entire game they did. But I don't think anyone expected the Eagles to get back into it. I don't think anyone expected Carson Wentz to... I mean, he balled out in that fourth quarter. He really did. He played his heart out, missing everyone, essentially. Consider the fact that they go into this game without Jackson or Jeffrey, even though he hadn't played all season anyway. They don't have Dallas Goedert. They're missing Lane Johnson. They're missing Jason Peters. They're missing, not Jordan Mailata, but Isaac Seumalo. And they're missing Brandon Brooks, obviously. And then you lose Miles Sanders, who had over 100 yards for the first time all season. It just, so many different pieces from this offense missing. And for the first three quarters, it looked awful. Wentz had 3 touchdown passes, one by Hightower, one by Sanders, and then a Hail Mary by Fulgham, which were dropped. And there was a 4th down conversion they went for that was dropped. Drop. And it's making out to be one of those normal 2020 Eagles season afternoons. And then all of a sudden, Carson Wentz coming to life. And all it started with was a 40-yard run when they're already down 30-14. That run, by the way, brought to you by, hey, Philly, I'm putting you on my back. He somehow throws an interception. It's his 10th interception. Yeah, wait. Hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. It's not his 10th interception yet, buddy. Wentz then getting the ball right back to him. It's 4th down or 3rd down. Who the hell cares and who the hell knows? He throws up a, what are you doing? Oh my God, Travis Fulgham! 30-22. Travis Fulgham, what a player he is turning into. I couldn't be happier with this Eagles signing. My question to Detroit is, what did you not see in this guy? What did you not like about Travis Fulgham? He catches the ball. He can run after the catch. Sure, he doesn't have blazing speed. He's not 6'8" Harold Carmichael or anything like that, but the guy's got skill to him. Eagles defense finally gets a stop, and here we go. It's 30-22. Can Wentz lead a potential game-tying drive down the field? Starts it off beautifully. Travis Fulgham, that name, that guy, he's a good one, draws an unbelievable pass interference call. It was like a 40-yard pass interference call. Who cares if it was right or wrong? He drew it. That's what we're looking for in receivers right now in Philadelphia. So here we go. Wentz getting the guys down into the red zone. Here we go. It's like, I don't know. They put together a pretty good game, and it's going to fall short on this play. And then all of a sudden, it happens again. Wentz with the conversion, and then on the next play, Dick Rod getting the big catch to set up 1st and goal, and then Wentz a couple plays later, after Boston Scott gets him down to the 1, he piles it in, 30-28. Let's see what we got. All right, 2-point conversion. Now, the first 2-point conversion did not work. I forget the first one. I believe that was, it was the Jalen Hurts one. It was the Jalen Hurts one. There was the read option. It just kind of went nowhere. Kind of an unfair play call, I think, for Jalen. That's just not really what you want to call. It's a goal line stand, and we already know how good the linebackers and the defensive line are for the Baltimore Ravens. That's something where you want to try and create spacing. So the next 2 work. Wentz to Greg Ward, and then Wentz to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. By the way, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside getting a touchdown in the most unlikely of ways, but if that's what you're good for, wide receiver blocking, waiting for your running back to fumble to pick up a touchdown, sure, by all means, go for it. I hate the play call. I don't understand. I don't understand why. Why would we do another read option? It didn't work the first time. 2 passes did. And for the record, those 2 passes, I believe, were both rollouts. Why are we doing another read option? And it doesn't work. And Wentz gets tackled and blown up by L.J. Fort. Former Eagle, mind you. Thank you, Howie Roseman. And Matthew Judon. And that is the end of the game. Eagles lose 30-28 to the Baltimore Ravens. I put up this tweet, which got more attention than I expected it to, honestly. But it is true. At the end of the day, it's true. I have been on this and said Wentz has not played well. I'm willing to admit that in the Rams game, he was terrible. In the second half of the Redskins game, he was abysmal. Against the Bengals, I mean, it was just embarrassing for him, and it was embarrassing for everyone. Wentz might have had a comeback drive at the end to tie the game, but that doesn't ignore the fact that he was not great throughout the entire game. The Niners game, he got a little better. And go figure, the Eagles win. The Steelers game, you saw a big comeback effort by Wentz in that offense, led again by Travis Fulgham. And eventually it just didn't work out. This game, I thought, was by far the best the receiving core and quarterback chemistry had looked all year. It was awesome. That was a great fourth quarter comeback that we don't even get to call a comeback because they didn't even tie the game because of a terrible 2-point conversion call. I don't even know what Doug Peterson's justification for that can be, but Carson Wentz played a great game. And the Eagles' defensive line, for as much crap as we've given the defensive line I thought played well. Josh Sweat is breaking out. Josh Sweat is turning into a real Philadelphia Eagles defensive lineman. Brandon Graham has proven this season he's got a lot more in the tank than we thought he did. Malik Jackson stepped up. I thought Fletcher Cox had a pretty solid game. The linebackers, once again, we finally saw Davion Taylor get in the game, and obviously he's never been in a game before. He's playing a pretty good team. He looked like a rookie out there. He looked a little lost in space. But that's okay. If it's Davion Taylor, who is an actual linebacker, who was drafted to be a linebacker, I'm okay with him looking a little, rusty or not that polished out there, especially when you consider he hasn't been playing football that long. For someone like Nate Gary, it's even more frustrating because he's playing out of position. We already know he's probably the worst linebacker in football, and you have guys that you could theoretically use that you're just not using. So I'm not going to give Davion Taylor a hard time about that. There were some other rookies that I definitely wanted to touch up on. John Hightower dropping that touchdown. A lot of people were giving him crap. This is another thing that, as a big Wentz fan, you guys know how much I love the guy. You know that I wanted to blow up John Hightower as well for that drop, but let's think about something. Is it a catch that any rookie should make? Yeah. Is it a catch any veteran should make? Yes. Did he redeem himself? Yes, he eventually did. And that's undeniable. And because of that, I think we can give him we can give him a pat on the back and say, just don't let that happen again. The thing about Aguilar in Philadelphia is that we killed him immediately. He made mistakes, and the fan base never let him get over it. So I think with Hightower, and he is a 5th-round pick, but with Hightower, we really need to try and help him as a fan base. We can't just bury these guys every time they make a mistake out there. That goes for every single player, Nate Gary excluded. They play the Giants on Thursday night. Depending on what happens with the Dallas game, it could actually be a defining game in the NFC East. Crazy to think that. But they played with a lot of heart, specifically Wentz, in that fourth quarter. And they might have lost against a better team, and the Ravens are the better team, but there's a lot to be said about that. For Bleeding Green Nation, this is Justin Goodard. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at Bleeding Green. Check out the Kist and Solak show. Seamus Clancy's newsletter. You can subscribe to him in the Patreon, link down below. And as always, fly Eagles fly. And I'm really not that upset about this one loss. This wasn't that bad. It's hurt, but it really wasn't that bad.